If we want to use payment discount when selling to customers or purchasing from vendors, the first thing that we have to do is specify the payment discount in the payment terms. So let me show you this. So I will open the payment terms. So and the first thing that we do with payment terms, of course, is entering the due date calculation, and that's something that the system will use to calculate the due date of an invoice. But besides that, you also see that there are fields to enter the discount date calculation and the discount percentage, and if necessary, to calculate payment discount on credit memos. And here you can see one of the payment terms our demo company is using, 1 month, 8 days. And this one is set up in a way that the due date calculation uses 1 month. So the customer that has this payment term should pay invoices within 1 month. But if they pay within 8 days, they can receive 2% of payment discount. And the same goes for vendors, of course. So we need to pay within 1 month, but if we pay within 8 days, we can take 2% of payment discount. So that's the first thing that is very important. Setting up or specifying the conditions in the payment terms page, as you can see here. Now, before that we can start using the payment discount, we first need to do some additional setup. And here it's very important to make the difference between payment discount including or excluding VAT. And I've created an example to show you the difference, both from the calculation perspective as the setup perspective. So let's go ahead and look at this slide. And suppose that here you can see the two systems. There's excluding VAT and including VAT. Suppose that we sell for 1,000. And by the way, this is a sales example, but it's exactly the same for purchase. So we're selling for 1,000. And if we look at excluding VAT, 1,000, excluding VAT means that the payment discount is calculated on the amount without VAT, so excluding VAT, which means that the payment discount is calculated on the 1,000. So this will give me a lowered VAT base on which then, for example, the 25% VAT is calculated. So and that's typically for excluding VAT. So what you see here is that instead of 250, there's only 245 VAT. And typically on the invoice we then see two totals. So the first one without payment discount and the second one with payment discount. Then including VAT will of course first calculate the amount including VAT, so 1,250, and then calculate the payment discount. And in this case the payment discount is 25. And so and this means that without the payment discount, the total amount to pay is 1,250. With the payment discount, it's 1,225. And so you see that these amounts match. And by the way, depending on the region where you're working, you will have to set up one of these two systems. So for example, I live in Belgium, and in Belgium we use the excluding VAT, but in other countries this might be including. Now, based on the setup, so based on the selection that we make in the general ledger setup, by the way, we will have to set up the payment discount in a specific way. So suppose that we're going for the excluding VAT in the general ledger setup, the payment discount excluding VAT should be selected, should be enabled, and we will then enter a VAT tolerance percentage. And the GL accounts to which the payment discounts will be posted can be set up in the customer posting group and the vendor posting group pages. So this is the setup that we need to do for excluding VAT. Let me already show you this in the application. So first of all, I will go to the general ledger setup, and let me click on show more to show some additional fields. So here you can see the payment discount excluding VAT field. So Kronos didn't select this field, which means that they're calculating payment discounts including VAT. And I will just leave it as it is. But again, like I just said, it depends on the country, on the region you're working in. But here, let's stick with including VAT. So that's the first thing. Now, if you are selecting payment discount excluding VAT, you also have to enter a VAT tolerance percentage. Now, this is not displayed in the general ledger setup of Kronos International, But in the local versions of countries where in general you're using payment discount excluding VAT, you will also find a field, the VAT tolerance percentage, that you can then enter. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing that is very important, the GL accounts. And so for example, if I go to the customer posting groups, you can see that there we can specify the payment discount debit and payment discount credit account. We also need to look at the payment discount including VAT, because that's the way that our demo company is set up. There we will of course start with payment discount excluding VAT, no. And then, very important, the field adjust for payment discount. So there are two options, no and yes. So if we stick with no, then the GL accounts are also entered on the customer and the vendor posting groups. But if we select yes for the adjust for payment discount, then we need to enter the GL accounts on the general posting setup. And we also need to enable the adjust for payment discount in the VAT posting setup. Now, what do we mean with adjust for payment discount? Well, quite simple. If we look at the payment discount amount here, so the 25, that's of course an amount including VAT, because we have calculated the 2% on the total amount including VAT. With the adjust for payment discount, no or yes, we can specify whether we want the system to take out the VAT amount and post the VAT amount separately from the base. In other words, if this is yes, when posting the payment with the payment discount, the system will take out the VAT amount, will post the net amount to the payment discount GL account, and the VAT amount will be posted to the VAT GL account. You see, so that's the difference between these two. And if we select yes again, then we have to assign the GL accounts on the general posting setup and enable the adjust for payment discount also in the VAT posting setup. So let me also quickly show you this in the application. So I will go back to the general ledger setup. And again, the payment discount excluding VAT is not selected for our demo company. But they also didn't select the adjust for payment discount. So this means that they're not taking out the VAT from the total amount. So they will just post the total amount to the payment discount GL account. If you would select this field, then, like we just saw on the overview slide, I will have to go to the general posting setup, because now I need to assign the payment discount accounts here on the general posting setup. You see the sales payment discount debit and credit account. And if you scroll to the right, you can see the same for the purchase accounts. And that's also very important if you want to set it up properly. You also have to select the adjust for payment discount field in the VAT posting setup. And then the last thing to do before we can start processing payment discounts is of course assigning payment terms to customers and vendors. And so for example, if I go to customers and if I open customer 10,000, and if we look at the payments fast tab, we can see here the payment term 1 month 8 days, and remember this is the payment term that is set up with payment discount. So if we start selling to this customer can get payment discount at least if they pay within 8 days.